Daniel Brooks had spent over a decade working as a senior safety inspector for one of the largest airline companies in the United States, quietly building a reputation for precision, honesty, and an unshakable commitment to passenger safety. As a single father, raising his 8-year-old daughter Mia, every decision he made carried extra weight. He wasn't just protecting strangers in the sky, he was protecting families like his own. Over the past few weeks, Daniel had noticed troubling patterns in maintenance reports, rushed inspections, overlooked mechanical warnings, and subtle pressure from upper management to keep planes flying despite unresolved issues. He documented everything carefully, submitting detailed reports and urging immediate action, but his concerns were repeatedly dismissed. The tension reached its peak during a high-level meeting led by CEO Victoria Hale at the company's Dallas headquarters. Surrounded by executives, Daniel presented his findings one last time, his voice steady but urgent. He explained how minor oversights could escalate into catastrophic failures, emphasizing that safety protocols were being compromised to cut costs and maintain schedules. The room fell silent for a moment. But instead of concern, Hale responded with cold impatience. She accused Daniel of exaggerating problems and creating unnecessary delays that were costing the company millions. Despite his calm insistence that he was only doing his job, her decision was swift and final. In front of everyone, she terminated him, citing insubordination and inefficiency. Humiliated yet composed, Daniel returned to his desk and packed his belongings into a small box. Colleagues avoided eye contact, unsure whether to sympathize or protect their own positions. As he walked out of the building, the weight of uncertainty pressed heavily on him, not for himself but for Mia, who depended on him for everything. Still deep down, he knew he had done the right thing that night. As he tucked his daughter into bed, he forced a reassuring smile, hiding the storm of worry inside him. 3 days later, the consequences of ignoring his warnings began to unfold. Federal aviation auditors arrived without notice, combing through maintenance logs, inspection records, and internal communications. It didn't take long for them to uncover the truth Daniel had tried so hard to reveal. His reports, once dismissed, now stood as undeniable evidence of systemic negligence, setting in motion a chain of events that would shake the entire company. Victoria Hale stood frozen inside the executive control room as the reality unfolded in real time. Massive digital screens that once displayed smooth departure schedules were now flooded with delays, cancellations, and urgent alerts. Airport hubs across the United States echoed with confusion as passengers crowded terminals demanding answers. Her phone rang non-stop. Board members, investors, legal teams all asking the same question. How had this happened just hours earlier? She had been confident, dismissing concerns as minor operational noise. Now every ignored warning had returned with devastating force. News channels began broadcasting the story, highlighting safety violations and exposing internal decisions that prioritized profit over lives. Across the city, in a modest apartment, Daniel Brooks sat beside his daughter, Mia, at the kitchen table helping her finish her math homework. The television in the background carried breaking news about the airline, but he paid it little attention. For him, the job was already behind him. He had done what he could. Then his phone rang at first. He hesitated, not recognizing the number, but something urged him to answer. On the other end was a senior official from federal aviation authorities. The voice was calm but filled with respect, thanking Daniel for his thorough documentation and unwavering integrity. They explained that his reports had been critical in preventing potentially catastrophic incidents. His work, once ignored, had now become the foundation of a nationwide safety intervention. Daniel listened quietly, absorbing the moment. The official continued, offering him a leadership role in a federal aviation safety division, an opportunity to ensure that standards were upheld across the entire industry. For a moment, Daniel struggled to find words. He glanced at Mia, who looked up at him with curiosity. Sensing something important had just happened, a quiet sense of relief and pride filled the room. Meanwhile, Victoria Hale faced a very different reality. Press conferences, legal scrutiny, and public outrage closed in rapidly. She issued a formal apology, her voice measured but unable to hide the damage already done. The company's reputation had crumbled, and the financial losses mounted by the hour. Days later, Daniel walked into a new office, not with arrogance, but with purpose. He carried the same quiet determination, now backed by recognition. What had once cost him his job had ultimately reshaped his future, proving that integrity, even when overlooked, can change everything.